So, for example, well, these look like they're kind of on par with one another, but at any point, if you click on the details down below the old photo, you can see this is kind of how the scoring is being evaluated right now. And this has seen a tremendous amount of work and iteration, and it's just very difficult to come up with a photo evaluation scheme that kind of maps well to people's expectations, subjective expectations and opinions about what makes a good photo, but we're getting closer with each iteration. So you can see that the degree to which the bird is framed and centered, the size of the bird, so the amount that it's taking up the frame. Pose refers to whether or not, I think we're calling a kind of 3/4 view of the bird the optimal orientation. Action refers to whether each of these birds, I think, has 12 different actions that it can take. So it can preen, it can eat, it can
sleep.
Right. Sure. So many of those. Right. Thank you, Brad. Yeah. But we got to get those earpieces next time, so you can just. Okay. So then achievements are the degree in success with which you've used one of those special items, and then penalties are, if the bird's beak is cropped, then you'll get a penalty for that. If it's too dark, you'll get a penalty, etc. So we can close this and let's go back to playing. You can kind of click through some of these screens quickly. So bad choice there. Keep that one. Okay. So how am I doing on time? Someone needs to be as strict with me on time as I am with everyone else.
6 minutes.
6 minutes? Okay. So just keep playing, Brandon. And why don't we actually jump to the bird editor. So if you go to, so one of the things, just go to create a bird. One of the things that, we realized, initially I think we had planned to have 200 birds in the game. And we realized that each bird, I think we figured out, between the geometry and all the animations we needed and all of the textures and so forth that we needed to have, they would end up being like 2 megs each or something. And so that was going to bring us down to, having maybe 20 birds in the game and still having a large game. So what we ended up doing was we're figuring out a way to start with, how many base models are there, Diane? 20, thank you. Just kind of keep you guys on your toes back there. So we have 20 base bird models. So those are kind of families of birds. So a gull or a songbird or a wading bird. We have a special designer tool that let us morph that geometry, and then we created a special, Diane actually, in large part, created special textures for each of the different field markings for the different species. So once we had built that tool for internal use, we saw, while we're building it, that there was a very powerful and fun tool that we could give the player. So this is the player version of that tool. It's simpler. You can colorize all the different masks. Once you walk through this process, you can name your bird, you can give it a description, and then you can upload that bird. And then anytime a player fires up their copy of the game, they can synchronize with the server and they'll download birds that lots of other people have designed. They'll just download right into their game. And then you can take pictures of those people's birds, and at any point you can go to your field guide and you can see how many people out in the world have taken pictures of the bird that you designed, where it was spotted, that sort of thing. We actually stopped short, there's a pretty rich AI system for birds in the game, and we really had hoped to let people set behavioral characteristics for the bird that they were releasing, but we had to pull that from this release. So. Can you just click on randomize a few times? So this is all randomizing within one base, from one base bird. So I think I'm getting close to time, and I just want to show the level editor real quick, which is the tool that Brandon spends a lot of his time in. So this fantasy bird map that you're seeing there is a place where you can go and just see other people's birds. Okay, that is the sound that Yossi. So this is the level configuration tool that Yossi built, and he named it Gerard, and he put that audio clip, which plays every time you open the tool. So this is the tool for developing those parallax levels. There's six and change environment types in the game. There's forests and parks. There's swamps. There's open ocean levels. There's levels that are like kind of rail levels where you're on a boat and moving the whole time. There's seashore levels, marsh. I'm forgetting something. Feel free to yell it out. I bet. Desert, that's it. And the other thing that there's actually a kind of subcomponent of this tool is the tree designer. So all of these trees that you're seeing here are trees that were designed by Brandon or someone else out of components. So each of these trees I think is made up of maybe 5 kind of leaf sprites and the trunk pieces and the branches. So can you just jump to the tree editor?